Okay, in this video, you're finding the equation of a line through when you're given 2 points that are on a graph. And we'll talk in just a minute about what that means. But in context, what we've been doing is learning to write equations for lines. And we've been doing that given all sorts of different information. If we give you a graph, then you can find the equation. If we give you a point and a slope, we've got a video done before, practice we've done before on finding that. And today what we're going to be doing is if I give you 2 points that are on the graph, you can find the equation. Now let's put this in some context here. If we had our tricycle race that we've been doing for a while, you've done stuff already where you said, okay, look, if they started at 24 feet down the track and then went 3 feet every 4 seconds, we were able to write an equation for that this way. Okay. We even did stuff like this, where we said instead of giving you a graph, we gave you a point that's on the line, like 8, 16, okay, and a slope. In other words, like some sort of speed. Like if I said they went, well, let's just do this one again. 3 feet every 4 seconds would be 3 feet in 4 seconds. So then you learned to find the equation from that, and you could do it either on the graph, or we practiced that a little bit before in writing the equation without the graph. So what we're doing today is this: instead of telling you a point and a slope, we're just going to give you a point and say another point, and then you'll find the slope and you'll find the y-intercept and you'll be able to write the equation. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to use 2 skills that you already have. Okay. The first skill is this: you know how to find the slope of a line. Okay. If I give you 2 points, and we're going to be using that skill today. In the context of what we're doing here, what that means is this: if I were to give you 2 different locations and times on the graph, you could find their speed. Okay. So the math skill is finding the slope, and the tricycle race context is find their speed. If I give you, say, a certain number of seconds they were at a certain place, and then after another number of seconds they were at a different place, find their speed. Well, the second skill you're going to be using is this: find the equation of a line given a point and a slope. And we did that in the previous video in the context of what we're doing here in the tricycle race. What that means is you can write an equation for their progress based on their speed and one piece of time and location information. So if they were at 5 seconds in, they were 8 feet down the track and they were going 1 foot every 3 seconds, you could find their equation. So what we're going to be doing today is using those skills. And so you can do this already. Let's do a quick example. Knowing that the slope is 5/2, you'd say, okay, look, I know the equation starts this way. I just don't know what goes here. Okay, this is the skill we used earlier. But you do know when you put 10 in for x, okay, you have to get -8 for y. So you did that. You said, let's put 10 in for x. And then we're going to ask the question, what would you have to put in this box in order to get -8 for y? Okay, well, you figured out what 5/2 of 10 was. That was 25. And then we'd ask the question, what do you add on to 25 to get to -8? Well, you're going to have to go down, about 33 to get there. So now you know the equation is y equals 5/2 x plus 33. The other thing you can do is this: you can find the slope given 2 points on the graph. And what you did was say, look, let's find the rise first, and you got the rise by subtracting the y's, 9 minus -2, and you got the run by subtracting 12 minus 18. Okay. And so say 9 minus -2 would be 11. 12 minus 18 is -6, so the slope is -11/6. Okay. In the context of a tricycle race, they're apparently going backwards down the track at 11 feet every 6 seconds, which makes sense that if they were at 12 seconds, they were at 9 feet down the track, and then at 18 seconds, they were 2 feet behind the starting line, then apparently they've gone backwards. It's not very bright, but that's what they're doing. Okay, so what we're going to do is find this equation, and you can think of it in the tricycle race context if you want, but we're going to say, look, I know I need two things. I need to know the slope, and I need to know the y-intercept. And what we'll do is step over to the side and calculate the slope first. Let's move this over here, and we're going to step over here, and we're going to get the slope first. So I'm going to go ahead and just write the rise is going to be 8 minus 4. Remember, to get the rise, you subtract the y's, and to get the run, subtract the other ones. So 8 minus 4 is the rise, 10 minus 5 is the run, and I get 4 over 5. Okay? So I already know what goes in there. Okay? So here's my equation starting out. Y equals 4 over 5x plus something I don't know yet. Okay? But I do know this. If I put 5 in for x and calculate all this stuff, I have to get 4. Or if I put 10 in for x and calculate all this stuff, I have to get 8. Now, it doesn't matter which one I choose, so I'm going to use the 5 and 4 one. So I'm going to put 5 in for x, and then I'm going to ask myself, what do I have to add on to here so that when I multiply this together and add this, I get 4? Well, let's calculate what this is first. Let's see, 1/5 of 5 is 1, so 4 of them is 4. So what do I have to add on to 4 to get to 4? Nothing. Okay? 0. Okay? So now you know what the number is out here. It's 0. So you could write y equals 4/5 x plus 0. Although honestly, that looks a little stupid to write plus 0. So let's just get rid of that and write 4/5 x, 4/5 x. And there's our equation. Okay? So let's step over here. Here's a problem I stole from Delta Math. We're going to do the same thing though. We're going to find the slope, and once we know the slope, we're going to put it in for the number in front of x. So it's going to be y equals something times x plus something. But let's get the slope first. A lot of negatives here. Let's be careful here. -7 minus -1. That's the rise. Okay. And 0 minus 5. Now, if you want to go the other direction and write -1 minus -7, not a problem. Doesn't matter what order you go in here. Okay. So -7 minus -1 is -6, and 0 minus 5 is -5. Negative divided by negative is positive, so I get 6/5 for the slope. Okay. So here I go. Y equals 6/5 x plus, I don't know yet. Okay. But I do know this. If I put 0 in for x, I have to get -7. If I put 5 in for x, I have to get -1. Well, choose which one you want. I think 0 is going to be more convenient. So 6/5 times 0 plus something has to get me to -7. Well, 6/5 times 0 is 0. What are you going to add on to 0 in order to get to -7? Well, -7. So that's what goes there, which means that's what goes there. So your final product, your final equation is this. Y equals 6/5 x minus 7. Okay, I think I still have this up here for Delta Math. Let me get that lined up here for you. So we got for our equation, y equals 6/5 x minus 7. You'll notice on this one, we have to type the y equals. It didn't put it in there for us. So let's submit the answer, see what we get. Got it. Let's do another one. Okay. This one goes through 0, -6, and 5, -2. So I'm going to copy that to my other page. Okay, so here we are, copied over onto my page where I can write. So to get the slope, which we need first, we're going to find the difference in the y coordinates. Again, doesn't matter what order you subtract them in. I'm going to go -6 minus -2 for the rise. And I'm going to go 0 minus 5 for the run. Notice that I went in the same order each time. Since I started with this one here minus that one, then I also did 0 minus 5. So I'm going to have a bunch of negative signs running around. I better be careful. So negative 6 minus negative 2 ends up being negative 4. 0 minus 5 is negative 5. So negative divided by negative is 4/5. So I know the equation starts with y equals 4/5 x plus something. And now what I'm going to do is just choose one of the points. It doesn't matter which one I choose. This one is going to be more convenient because that x being 0. So I'll put in 0 for x, because when I put 0 for x in and calculate everything about this equation, I have to get to negative 6. Okay? So I have to find out, when I get done multiplying 4/5 times 0, what do I add to that to get to negative 6? Well, 4/5 times 0 is 0, so 0 plus negative 6 is going to get me to negative 6. So there's my answer for what goes in that box. So my equation is y equals 4/5 x minus 6. I'll go back to Delta Math and see what I get there. Okay, so y equals 4/5 x minus 6. And there we go. Okay, so the whole idea is going to be, for any of these problems, find the slope first, and then once you know the slope, pick one of the points you want to use and do the exact same thing you did before. So again, we're using these skills that we've had before. You know how to find the slope. You know how to find the equation if you know the point and a slope. So you did this first, and then you did that. Okay? Hopefully that helps.